Robin Campbell from UB40. Welcome to Australian Musician.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah. When UB40 came onto the scene with Signing Off in 1980, one of the things that surprised a lot of people for a band with a lot of white guys in it was your reggae chops. Where did they come from? Because reggae is not an easy genre to play.
Well, it is if that's all you listen to. I mean, we grew up on it, you know. I was listening from childhood. I was listening to Jamaican pop music, which before it was reggae, you know. When it was ska, I was dancing to Prince Buster and the rest of them, along with all my mates, you know, half of whom were of Jamaican descent, you know. So I I grew up listening to that music, and when it became reggae in the late 60s, then I was as it was as much a part of my musical culture as it was any of the black guys in the band, you know, because they're English from the same city I'm from. They're not Jamaican, you know. They grew up listening to the same music as me. So I don't see why there should be any difference between us. Really, we've only ever played that kind of music. We taught ourselves to play together, and the only music we ever played was reggae.
Yeah. Tell me about the first time you saw Bob Marley.
1976. It was the only time I saw Bob Marley live in Birmingham, and that was, I guess, that was the sort of the catalyst for the band UB40. I think that night, every member of the band was in the audience to see Marley. And they were all teenagers at the time. So, apart from me, I think that was the night when we all saw him. It was as near to a spiritual experience as I've ever had. It was almost like going to church, you know, and it was life changing. It made me decide, that's what I want to do. And I left that concert that night saying to Ali, my younger brother, if you're ever serious, if you ever want to stop talking about it and really do it, then I'm in, you know. And that was when the seeds were planted. Really, I mean, as I say, we talked about it all of our lives as kids. We sang together as kids. We came from a musical background, a musical family. So, it wasn't a strange idea for us to make a living playing music. It was just that when we saw Marley that time, that was it. We just went, I said that's what I want to be doing, and if you're ever serious, let me know.
You were both
Took,
left.
took him a couple of years. It took him a couple of years to get serious, but
Yeah.
yeah,
You were both left-handed guitarists, which is unusual. Were you both natural left-handers?
yeah, yeah. That was just the way it was, you know.
Yeah.
Of the four brothers, we were the two left-handed ones.
Yeah. UB40 was also the first band to have a dub album in the mainstream charts. Where did the dub influence come from?
Same thing, you know. That was the 70s. That was, in fact, much more influential on all the other guys in the band than it was on me, because I was much more into the rocksteady period, you know, the original period of reggae when it changed from ska and slowed down and became rocksteady before it was even called reggae, you know. That's the era that I was into, that really fired me up, and was probably the greatest influence on me. But the younger guys, that's what they were listening to, you know. Prince Jammy and King Tubby and all of that was, that's what they were listening to as teenage boys. They grew up in the 70s, so to them, dub was as much a part of their life as rocksteady was mine.
Yeah. Tell me about your stage rig. Has it changed much from when you started to now?
Not really. Well, it has changed, of course. It's changed from the very beginning. But I've had the same rig now for probably 30 years. I've been using, well, I don't exactly know how long pods have been around, but my amp is a pod. That's what I use. And my guitar is a Patrick Eccles custom-made guitar. I had two made in the 90s, I think, early 90s. And I've used them ever since. When I first was playing, the first guitar I had was a Strat, a Fender Strat, which I still have. 1954 Fender Strat, left-handed, which, believe it or not, when I took it apart to scrape the paint off it, because it was in a horrible sunburst and I wanted it black, I put paint stripper on and I scraped the paint off. When I took the neck off, I scraped the paint off on the body, and it said R. Campbell, 1954, under the paintwork.
Wow.
So the guy who did the body, the original body of Fender, was obviously called R. Campbell, and he made it in 1954, which is actually my birth year. So that guitar was meant for me, and I still have it.
That's pretty spooky.
Yeah, very, very spooky. Can you imagine scraping it off and Campbell comes up and then R. Campbell comes up and then your date of birth? You know, what? Very, very strange.
Yeah. You guys have got a new album out actually today here in Australia. Bigga Baggariddim, a sequel to Baggariddim, the album released in '85, which was an album of collaborations. How did you choose the artists to collaborate with for this album?
This time round,
Yeah.
well, yeah, the original was obviously a showcase for Birmingham artists more than anything. Most of them were Birmingham DJ artists. Apart from, obviously, we did the track with Chrissy Hind for that album as well. But this time round, we just wanted to do the same kind of thing. We were so happy with the For the Many album, which was our, current album. We were so happy with that musically that we just thought it'd be a really nice idea to do another Baggariddim, but with a more international flavour. Using the rhythm tracks from For the Many, but asking artists that we'd met and mostly worked with over the previous few years. When we played New Zealand the last time, House of Shem supported us. When we played Australia, Inner Circle supported us on at least one of the shows. We've obviously seen them many times over the years. They've played with us over the years as well. But the last time we saw them, I think, was the last time we were in Australia. And the Reggae Rajas in India, we played with them. When the last time we toured India in 2017, I think, we met the Reggae Rajas, who are massive in India and run the Goan Reggae Sunsplash Festival in Goa. So, yeah, I mean, it's just people we worked with and met in the last, 4 or 5 years. We just got in touch with them and said, would you be interested if we send you 2 or 3 tracks, pick one and put a song on it? No restrictions, whatever you want, just pick one of the tunes and stick a track on. And that's what most of them did, except House of Shem. We sent them 3 tracks and they sent us 3 songs. So we liked all 3 of them so much we used them all.
Having a new album, does it make it easier or harder to create a set list?
Well, I guess when you've got a new album, you have to include some of the tracks off that album. That's what you're out on the road for, is not just to play your hits and the ones that everyone comes to hear. You want them to hear your new album too. That's part and parcel of making a record, is you want the approval of the fans, for what you've just done. So it's a given, really, that if when we're out on the road, we're going to be playing tracks off our new album. It's the hard thing is selecting which ones you play off the album, because you don't know which ones are going to be the most popular necessarily, So you have to sort of just have a go and, go by what your friends and your family are reacting like and say, this one's going to be popular, this one's not, so we'll do this. This one will work live, this one won't work so well live. It's, it's a juggling act really, and sometimes you might drop one and put something else in, you know. But we've also very lucky that we've got how many, what's 50 hits, 50 hit records that we can choose from. So you know, it's not that difficult to put a. The hard thing is what you leave out, really. You know, we could play for a couple of days. As it is, we try to stick to a couple of hours, keep it under a couple of hours because we're getting on there. And you know, yeah, as I say, the hard thing is what you don't put in. Really, there are certain ones you have to put in. You know, the Red Wines and the Can't Help Fallings and the Kingston Town and Food for Thought, 1 in 10. All of those songs always get in, you know. But then a few new ones and a few that might surprise people, you know. But it doesn't matter what you do. Someone always comes up to you and says, you didn't play my favourite, you know. Always happens.
Yeah. I saw you guys at Festival Hall in Melbourne on your first Australian tour. What are your memories of that first Aussie tour?
Wow. Not great, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I remember going. I remember us. We were in like a almost like a bed sit type place, hotel on Bondi, and we did a lot of travelling out from Bondi to different gigs, you know. But the actual gigs are very hard to remember. I mean, you know, we're talking 40 years and thousands of concerts later.
Yeah.
And I really, unless something, you know, makes them stand out forever, like, I don't know, playing Madison Square Gardens in America with a #1 single at the time, you know, you'll remember that. But the first gig in Melbourne, I honestly couldn't tell you what happened. I'm sure it was good.
You're booked to come back to Oz in March next year. Let's hope that happens.
Fingers crossed.
Just to finish up, what are you most proud of?
Well, most proud of that we're still doing it, I guess. You know, how could we possibly have dreamt that, you know, we would be doing it after 40 years? It's I guess that has to be what I'm most proud of because, you know, I mean, as I say, we've had 50 top 40 hits in the UK. We've sold 100 million records around the world. You know, all of those things are to be proud of, you know. But the fact, I guess, that we are still doing it after 40 years, I still pinch myself on a daily basis, you know, because I can't quite believe that a bunch of kids who talked about it actually went ahead and did it and had so much success at it, you know.
Yeah. All right, Robin, it's been great to chat, and let's hope that you do make it here in March next year.
Yeah, please. I'm getting stir crazy. We got to get down there.
Thanks, mate. Good to chat.
Cheers, Greg.